All right, welcome back to the Castle Nerd Guild Hall. We're back in the Plasters Hall, which focuses on surface textures, plaster, grout, mortar, that type of stuff. This video is the second part from the first video, which is about the Wattle and Daub wall. The project was this. This is what I'm working on now, but I wanted to do a test panel for this wall because I wasn't really sure how to do it and what it was going to look like. So the first video is focusing on the timber and the plaster. This video is focusing on the wattle part, which is the woven sticks in between the plaster walls. I want to have it so it's kind of sticking out a little bit, so the plaster looks like it's kind of falling apart and getting a little aged. So that's what this video is going to be about. So hang on and we'll get this video started. As a refresher, this is the second story of my medieval village lane house. This is the one that I'm working on, trying to get the Wattle and Daub test wall made. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of eventually what I put into this wall for the Wattle and Daub. I think it looks pretty cool. Now, this video is going to focus on the wattle part, the woven sticks and branches that are going to go into the plaster wall. I wanted to try to do several different examples or ideas of the materials that I could use to create this. This one here, I'm actually going to be weaving some jute rope and try to make them look like sticks or branches, and I'm going to be weaving them in between those little metal rods that I put into the foam. It probably would have helped if I had some thinner jute rope and didn't have to take so much of it apart, but it was pretty curly, so I had to kind of straighten it out a little bit. So I saturated it with some water and PVA glue mix, and then used my fingers to kind of just straighten it out, get rid of some of that curlicue in the rope. All right, now that the glue is all dried up on this jute rope, they were a little stiff, so I had to kind of go through and break them up a little bit to make them more flexible so that I could weave them in between the floral wire here. So I'm a bald guy and I've never had hair to do braids with, but I think I did a good job figuring out how to weave this rope in and out to kind of make it look like a woven basket. Ultimately, I think this technique looked pretty good. I thought it did look like actual wattle sticks woven in between other sticks. But I think the size or the scale of it wasn't going to work with my current wall. So I was going to have to test some other materials to see what would work better. So here was my second idea for a wattle material. Basically, it's kind of a woven jute fabric, I guess you would call it. And so my idea was to kind of push some of those strings closer together to kind of make it look like they were the woven sticks. So I did a test piece to figure out exactly how it was going to work, and then I did this piece. And I found that if you kind of held all the strings in place, it gave you the ability to start squeezing them or pushing them all together without the strings all falling apart. I did like this technique. It was doing what I wanted it to do. It did look like wattle or woven sticks. But the jute rope is really, it's got a lot of hairs. I don't know how the fibers are really sticking out all over the place. And it wasn't clean enough looking for me. So this was the third material that I found. It was a jute ribbon. The jute itself was not so frayed. It was a little cleaner and tighter. And the scale of it, I thought, was going to work perfectly for the size of my wall. Now here's a collection of all my different options for the wattle. The first one, like I said before, I thought was a little too big in scale. The middle one was cool, but I think it was a little too frayed and hairy. That third one from the roll, I think, is the one that's going to be the winner, but I'm going to try to incorporate 3 of these different versions into a test sample. Here again, I'm going to build one more little section of the wall so that I can use those 3 pieces of the wattle that I'm going to be putting into the plaster this time. Wood here needs a little roughing up. Got to make it look like that old medieval timber. Going to use the dark walnut stain again and stain it before I put the plaster in, like I did on the first sample test wall. Here I'm cutting out the little individual pieces of the jute wattle that I'm going to use. Trying to find some sections and kind of get a little game plan before I start putting plaster down. Time to mix up some Sculptamold. This is the same stuff that I used on the first sample wall. I do like the way it works. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get the wattle to peek through. So I laid some of it down and started picking some of the Sculptamold out and then putting down the wattle stuff and then gently kind of covering it back up so it was sticking out. Seemed to kind of work. It was 100% successful. Don't know, but this is what worked for this attempt. And sorry, the camera's a little far down. I wasn't paying attention. I was able to get it back up eventually. But here again, I'm just kind of picking some of the Sculptamold out and then putting it back on top of the wattle. This Sculptamold sets up pretty quick or dries pretty fast, so you really kind of have to do what you need to do within like 5 minutes of laying it down. Here I'm just trying to make sure that everything is where I want it to be before it starts getting hard. Just a little bit more picking and cleaning before I re-stain it. Here's a little close-up of the 3 sections. I think this one here has a little bit more definition. I think the other ones get lost. You can't see the individual strands that are supposed to be the Wattle and Daub. So I think the first one is the best one. The only way to clean up all of that Sculptamold off the wood is that you literally have to re-stain it. The Sculptamold seems to stain pretty well, so it wasn't a problem. Now I'm going to use a warm gray wash to kind of tint the plaster a little bit, just so it looks a little bit more weathered and used. So, like with the first sample wall that I did that was just the daub or the plaster, I overdid it here with the darker color, the dark umbers that I've got going on here. I just made the plaster look a little bit too weathered, too dirty, too old. Because what it does is then it takes away from that wattle sticking out. It makes it look, I would say, unaffected or ineffective, but it just doesn't stand out as much as I wanted it to. So like the first one, I had to go back in with some white paint and kind of undo all that dark weathering that I did so the wattle would pop back out of the plaster and make it look a little bit more, I guess, natural. So here's the final result. Again, like I said, I think this first one in the corner looks the best. You can actually see individual strands of the wattle, which is what I was going for. The other two here are just too chaotic. They might be fine for a larger project, but for this one particular, I think this corner piece worked the best. And that's the one that I'm going to be using in the final wall of my house. Now, as I promised earlier, here is a little teaser of the final wall that I have on my house. This is all plastered up, and I have the wattle kind of sticking out in certain spots. This is the side that's going to have the chimney. This is the front side. This is the left side. So you can see the individual elements of this jute, of this wattle, which I thought was kind of cool. That is exactly what I was going for. So this is unpainted, but this is the end result of my Sculptamold and plaster and wattle test.